All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
I've clicked the button
Cool.
and we are streaming. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's RC Drift chat. My name is Adam and we've got two guests today. John was feeling a little bit under the weather and not not in the right mindset right now at least. So, we've got Lance subbing in for John.
Yep.
And then we've got Todd back. Todd as another special guest coming back. Technically, you're the first guest that's come back. I don't count Jake because he was co-hosting with me last time.
Yeah.
Good to see y'all. Glad you'll listen to anything I have to say.
Always, always Todd.
Todd is an endless bucket of wisdom.
Hey, Peter.
I'm more on the redneck kind of get her done sort of way, but hey,
hey,
we get her done.
You know what? We need way more of that.
Yep. No, we make her. We get her done up here.
Hey, how did you fare in that last snow? Like, did you guys get any of that?
We got a little wisp, but man, we've been wishing we had more.
Well, I mean, that's you, right?
Big skier, and I work for plow company. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, we got a little bit of a dusting down here. It got to the point where it was starting to stick. What about you, Lance?
Last month, was it Monday? I think it was Monday. No, it's Friday. Yeah, this Friday morning we got like 3 or 4 inches in 2 hours.
Oh, geez.
And yeah, by the time I had to leave for work, the roads were really bad. And then by like 12, it was all fine, all gone. It was weird.
I guess that makes sense. Like, I woke up on it must have been Friday, right? And
Yeah.
it just started to snow, right? So
Yep.
I went up and told Crystal about it because she works over in Corvallis, right? Or just outside of Corvallis.
Yeah.
By the time that she got up and then out of bed and all ready
It was
for work,
all fine.
she had to she had to clear off her car.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Like,
no, the video I posted in chat yesterday morning. Well, that was yesterday morning.
right?
Or yeah, driving out of the house, the 5 miles it was just nuts all the way to Eugene.
It's crazy. All right. So today we are revisiting the kind of a dead beaten horse. We're talking about the RDS a little bit more and actually in depth. We touched bases with it with John and his kind of like slight hands-on experience with it.
PDX.
Yep, at PDX. And then now we have Todd, who's going to kind of introduce us, like hands-on, go deep dive. He's had the car for 2 weeks now, about 2 weeks.
Yeah, not 2 weeks.
Yep, and he also has an RDX to compare it to as well. So,
but
among a bunch of others.
Do you have a new Sakani to compare it with as well?
Yeah. We have one of my members has is Connie too. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Are we really? Yeah. Are we gonna go that far deep into the rabbit hole?
I think it's relative merit. I think it's worth it because the direct drive and how they're doing it matters.
Well, I should have my team member step in to talk about that because he's the man who drives it, right? I wish he was here.
I mean, you can just call him and be like, "Hey, I need you here." Like right now.
We could have go live on live.
Live on live, yeah.
What do you think about that thing here, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes in my job, I actually have people that do that. Like, they'll call their tech support person and then put the phone right up to the headpiece and be like, "Can you guys hear each other?"
There you go.
Make it happen, right?
It's like
phoneception.
Jeez, yes, phoneception. All right, Todd. Let's dive into it. Tell us a little bit of how. Well, first of all, you got the kit, not the RTR, the actual kit.
Okay.
So I just want to make that like right out the gate.
Well, that's a good thing because that means he'll know how to build out experiences.
Right, so there's the build experience, but
Yeah.
also this is not the RTR, right?
No. Yeah.
Nothing
No.
about
So,
the RTR experience.
No electronics, none of that stuff.
I couldn't stand any of the bodies they got for them things, so why would I do that?
Give me the 3 colors of the one body.
Bodies are ugly.
It's like a
But
Mustang,
for a first,
Nissan.
It's like a Mustang
for
Nissan.
first timer, I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know?
at least they're not trying to like avoid copyright infringement by calling it like the Nissan Skillin. Like
Yeah.
that's been a
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Todd. So
Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Let us know if you can't hear us okay or something like that also.
yeah.
But I'll kind of go over my impressions. Mainly we'll go over what the build impressions and stuff are. I'm still new to driving it. I have had a week driving it, and I am enjoying it. And but I did a bunch of weird things. So because I'm trying a bunch of stuff, right? So we'll get to that too. But first, build impressions. Let's just go over that right off the bat. I had a great time building it. Their instructions are good. I was missing bag B. It wasn't that it was missing. It's just that it was in the bolts and the pieces were in other bags. Another parts bag divvied up into those. So the parts were there once I busted everything open and found them. But as far as like a beginner building it for their very first time, I would have kind of been a little bit lost, right? So I was a little like, okay, that was weird, But other than that, everything went really good. I heard, other people say their pins were too short, and a couple other things I heard too. But I didn't have any issues. I didn't have any issues at all. The build was great. I know all the little tricks to make it the best it can be when I build it. So I took the time to sand the insides of the arms and the little plastic seams and all that, right? And when you cut the little plastic pieces off the tree, right? I took my X-Acto knife and trimmed off those down, So if you take the time and you're good with your stuff will be good, right? So that's what I did, and it seems to work great, And my guys are calling it the Silent Killer. I'm running the new little 80 amp ESC on it, the Hobby Wing, and then I'm also running a 21.5 turn motor on it, also.
Oh dang!
Wow.
Yep. And you'll get to drive it. You'll get to try it at the hobby show. But
Wait,
yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it in there.
Did I just spot a Racing capacitor?
Yes, you did.
Is the capacitor is probably like bigger than the ESC?
It's bigger than it is.
It is bigger than the ESC. Yeah.
Jesus.
But
so
I can unplug that battery and I can drive my car across my track still without the battery plugged in. Pretty cool.
I was gonna say, I bet that makes it feel like a 120 or 160 amp ESC, doesn't it?
Hey, notice where I mounted it. Notice where I mounted it, right?
Yeah.
Because the ESC wasn't that big, so now it kind of equals one kind of big ESC, right?
Now you said that's the 80 amp ESC. Is that the just stock with the turbo and boost in it, or is that
that's they call it the stock spec. So you're able to add boost and turbo and all that in time and do everything you can do with it,
Okay. Gotcha.
That's good.
Yep. I know which one you're talking about then.
I'm new to that. All the settings are different than what I ran before. I was a big Toro guy for years. Now they ain't making Toro anymore, other than the 160. Yeah, the 160, and I'm not a fan of that one. So, yeah, without that, the settings are different. So I'm looking at all these settings I have in this book of mine for a Toro and what turn motor and all that. And anyway, I'm having to figure out settings still. So We're still playing with the settings on the ESCs, and Hank got one also here, and I actually got 3 of them. So I'm going to stick them in a few different rigs.
Are they
They're
more
good.
affordable?
Like,
They're
More affordable
amazing.
than the other stuff?
I'm amazed. And the little thing, man, it's like mounting a receiver or gyro. You know, it's a little itty bitty ESC.
Nice.
yeah, like
Pretty cool.
think of how big the like the Jarvis is.
Yeah.
Or the Jarvis is 2/3 of that.
Oh my god. Okay.
Like, it's tiny.
Well, man, those
That's
could be good for the minis.
It's underneath. Oh, yes, for sure. It's underneath
Yeah,
the racing there. But
Yeah.
I put a diffuser, Yokomo diffuser on the back. You know, I upgraded a few things right off the bat because I drove it for a few days with all the stock stuff on it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting the angle that I'm spoiled with owning a Yokomo for the past 10 years. So I had to get Yokomo angle. So these little bad boys, these little knuckles that they made, you know, they work, right? So, I mean, if somebody has to, and that's their only way, it will work. Well, it's going to be, you know, they're not going to drive high angles anyway at first as a beginner anyway. So,
yeah, that can get them into trouble.
You know, yeah. Well, and it can save you too, right? Having high angle sometimes.
Sometimes.
But I'm spoiled with Yokomo angle, so I had to have it. So I put Yokomo knuckles on the front of this, and then I put big bores on here because I just couldn't get the shocks, even with sanding and doing a few things. I couldn't get the shocks to really feel like I needed them to feel, you know. So, but I did try them and I ran them. They didn't leak. They seemed to do okay.
Just kind of
but
stiff and gritty.
Yeah, they're a little stiffy. They kind of hung up a little bit. I think maybe the shaft doesn't, you know, it needs a, you know, shaft guide. That could be something that may be coming out later, you know. The servo horn is something that you're going to have to order that right away because these will probably strip. The minute a beginner starts hitting a wall, right, that thing's just going to strip right out. And I've seen that's an issue following like the RDS pages, right? So people are complaining about they're already 3D printing them for themselves, and I think the aluminum one's probably out of stock now. And
is it just like a soft plastic one?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the socket that actually goes onto the servo is plastic.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
I bet you, if do they already have an aluminum version for it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
If not, I bet you they would pull. Never mind. They could have pulled an associated thing where they like just send you
they're rolling out. They're rolling out upgraded parts faster than Rev D is. So, I mean, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, Rev D's got the, you know, I love Rev D, and Aso and Hayato are friends of mine from years, but they've got the Yokomo, how we're going to roll it out one item every month, and it just drags on. And it's like everything's high traction. And anyway. Anyway, but hopefully, you know, they get on with getting some upgraded parts for the RDX coming, you know. I mean, it was like they announced a upgrade coming, right? And then the upgrade comes out and it's a spacer for the front shock tower. It's like,
right.
Yeah. Or the little aluminum brace bits.
Right? It's like, I mean, they're great, but I went to my spacer bin and got my own damn spacers and spaced it before I was going to wait for those to get here, and if they were even in stock anyway.
Yep.
So like I say, we got to get her done the way we got to do it sometimes. And so if we got the things that work, why are we going to wait for all that crap? You know, they'd think they'd get the idea. When they come out with the car, they come out with all the upgraded parts that they need to come out with too at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But what do I know about making money? I'm sitting here with an empty wallet, right?
Yeah, they got money.
No, but like I said, dude, this it's over engineered. Not shouldn't say over engineered. They just got really nice parts, right, for most of it, and then even the plastic parts they did. When I was building it, I told the guys in here at the shop at the time, I go, dude, this is like the Traxxas of drift chassis. It's like, because I don't know, this front bulkhead is like, it's so beefy and big. But now that I've got it and I built it and I played with it and I'm used to it, it's not as bad as, I mean, it's ugly, right? But shit, it works.
It works.
It works. Yeah, it works. And I mean, whoever did it did a dang fine job for their first one. I'm super impressed. Like I said, all I changed,
Especially, yeah,
all I,
for Red Cat.
I mean, this thing right now will, I'm sitting here going RDX, RDS, when I'm driving, because I'm having fun with both of them. That RDX is an animal. That thing's awesome. That thing's a fun little chassis too. But again, we got to wait for some upgrades. As far I don't know if I should waver off the Red Cat thing and go to the RDX for a second, but um, if I'm gonna recommend something for a beginner, I'm gonna recommend that RDX. Comes fully tuned in place. I mean, if they build it to the book stock, that thing runs now.
Yeah.
They can start learning that trigger time, right? They get hooked on driving. They get good at driving, and then they see their buddies over there on the table tuning their cars, and they're like, "How do I?" And I can't do that to mine. Oh well, I need to get the turnbuckles to upgrade, right? And then they want to start doing that's what starts generating that drive to want to either be a tuner, or they can stay with that stock tune and just drive the heck out of that thing. When it dies, buy another one and drive the heck out, But I think that where a lot of folks don't like to do things these days, they want the fast fix. That's the fast fix, really.
Instant gratification.
Not having to do the homework and
spend the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the headaches for I had many headaches enough that I almost got out of it a couple times, right? Where it was like I tried all dang weekend with a group of guys to get this thing tuned up down there at Kennewick one weekend, that when Adam was there years and years and years ago. And, we had a good time. And finally I had an aha moment down there. It was like toward the end of it. And I got a 20-foot long drift. It was like, oh, wow, that was sick, man. That felt so, I was like, did you see that? But,
mind you, that in Kennewick, that was like the beginning of the era for all of you.
Oh yeah.
That was the very, very start, like YD2 plus era.
Yep, I was actually driving a D4 at that time, having issues getting the D4 tuned to where I could drive it. But between the lack of driving skill and tuning skill, it was just a nightmare, right? So where the RDX comes pre-tuned by one of the best drifters in the world, right? Designed by anyway. They don't have to go through half that headache, right? So they just have the headache of learning this, and this. And then once they get that, then they can decide whether they want the other headache or not and join the big boys and start tuning and stuff like that,
Or not.
And I wouldn't call it a beginner chassis. I'm driving it, dude. This thing's rad. It's an animal. It will go with my comp car any day and all my other ones. And just how it's set, I'm amazed. It's pretty cool. This red cat, though, I can't wait till you get to drive it. It's an amazing little animal, also. Um, and I will not be setting this on the back shelf for sure. This will be right there next to it. So,
Right on. So,
my little silent killer.
That's
like,
good.
on that note, would you call it more of a clone of a chassis, or would you call it its own original thing?
So, the people who designed it, right? They've drifted, right? So they're going to obviously design it like one of the drifters they've seen in the years before. All of them have been cloned to something that was in the RC world before ever drifting started, right? So they come out looking like a buggy, and it can't, if you stand back, you put some tall shocks and some outdoor tires on this thing. This thing could look like a buggy too, right? um, but I do not call this a clone. I don't never seen anything like this one, and I own all the chassis pretty much. The transmission and whatnot's real similar to like an E, I would say.
Yeah, it's got like elements from a bunch of different chassis, but not
yeah, and the guy,
copy.
right, and the guys who designed that probably drove all the different ones, right, and then added that his own way to designing this, right, and building it, I noticed all those things that he took into account from all those things. And like I said, I was super impressed at a lot of the things. The servo's a bitch to get out.
I mean, but so is the Yusakani, and so is
It
the
is. And
there are a few. You're right. It's not easy on a few, right? So it's as easy as those, or easier maybe, but it's still kind of a pain. I've always wanted an easier servo change.
Yeah.
Not that I change servos a lot, but it's just kind of, I don't know. You shouldn't have to operate to get your servo out, I don't think.
Well, there was a time before the FTs came out that I was swapping servos pretty often. Going through like SPO2s, SPO3s, the Cosmic I have, Onisiki, OMG. So yeah, sometimes you do.
when they were making that transition from kind of not so good gyros to good gyros, that was the time we were all playing with servos too, and that was when they didn't have programmed servos. Yeah. And then they started having programmed servos, or programmable servos. So, and that's when we started playing with the different servos and I'm still doing that too, playing with the different programmable servos to see what, I'm curious. I'm curious about that one. Oh, I'm curious about that. And we're all the same way. So, and I got this little bug in me. I got to be different, right? So I try to do different stuff than everybody else do. And like I said, I was curious about this 21.5 turn, and I'm like, wow. I got it, and I'm out there, and I'm driving it, and I'm like, a few places I'm like feeling a lack of power, but in most of everywhere else, it's amazing, the torque and the grip and the it's so playful. It's a real playful chassis, and like I said, it's the silent killer. It's so quiet compared to the RDX. The gears and everything is like super smooth. I don't know. I was like, man, did I not do the mesh on my RDXs? Guess I was rechecking it, and I checked it, put the dollar bill in there. Did everything I was supposed to do, but like I say, this Red Cat's just a quiet little smooth running machine. And they did some neat things. They, like I said, they cut some corners and were able to not add a screw here and there because they did it a certain way. And it's just, until you build one, you wouldn't know what I was talking about, but it's neat. They're toe blocks. They give you all the options for your settings, high, low, in, out, everything. So you got all your, in fact, I'll show you right here. and they're all numbered, so you know what size they are. But it's like the inserts for the Yokomo toe blocks, right? Except for these, I think even have more variation because, like I say, it's a square, and then it's either high 1, 2, 3, medium 1, 2, 3, low 1, 2, 3. Right? There's only one hole, but it seems like there's that many settings, like 7 different settings in you can use.
Isn't that how the Racing ones are?
And maybe even more. I don't know. I don't use Racing except for few things. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they took that directly from buggies then, because that's literally a standard feature on all buggies right now.
Yeah. No, I was stoked when I saw it, and I didn't build it to stock right off the bat. I changed it more of a pro squat setup when I built it, because I knew I wouldn't like that anyway. I'd have to go back in there and change it. So why go back in there? But their front arms, lower arms on this thing, I heard some people changing the front and lower arms, and I'm like, why? I mean, these lower arms are cool. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get it in front of the camera. But they got a little knockout.
Like the uppers.
There's a knockout here, so where the tire turns,
you can get in a little bit more.
You can give just a little touch more angle. Pretty neat how they designed it. Pretty cool.
So they pulled that from real cars.
Notch the back of the arm.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that works.
But, they did a good job. Like I said, I'm super impressed with this build. I was giving it crap 2 weeks before I bought the thing. I seriously told Hank, I go, oh my God, look what the Red Cat came out. I can't believe they joined the drift thing,
Yeah, we were all kind of blown away when that came out.
I was like, I almost had Sprint 2 feelings and like, the whole, like, but then 2 weeks later, I was like curious, and I was following their pages, and did I lag out?
You did.
You did.
We can still hear you, though.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw myself stop, and I was like, wait, I had this little jibe going, man. You should be enjoying that, not lagging out. No, but yeah, shoot, like I said, this has been a cool build. You'll have to drive it if you don't get the chance to, or have one to drive before you get to drive mine or whatnot. But
well, there's one person I saw that had one up at PDX. I don't know if anyone down in Northwest has one yet.
No one has one at Northwest, and it's Alex that has it.
Oh, Plecken or Bird?
Plecken.
Okay.
I'm still lagged out, aren't I? That's weird.
Yeah, if you want, you can disconnect and then join again.
Yeah. The red hang up button, and then just click that link again in the chat.
Oh.
And it's gonna break the video.
Yep.
Oh no, it's all broken.
It's all broken. Lance has 2 left.
I have 2 arms.
I mean, I can fix that. Oh, there we go.
There he is. He's back.
Yay,
he's back.
Aren't you supposed to have fiber there now, Todd?
I do. Well, it's not fiber. I do have fiber to the home, and then I bought that wire, or it's called a mesh.
Yeah.
Mesh router setup.
Who's mesh router though? That makes a difference.
Yeah, Netgear. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay, that explains a lot.
Whatever was at Costco. I bought the nicest one. It seemed like, but it's probably a piece of crap. That's how it always goes.
How much? I might have to send you another care package.
I don't know. It was a few $100, $200 or $300 for 3. It was 3 units.
Okay.
So
are they the small little black Nighthawk ones?
They are. That's the one.
Those should be okay.
Yeah, sorry, those are the ones. We're nerds. Deal with it.
Yeah. We're playing with toy cars. Of course we know.
Hey, this is the first time I've been able to even do this in this track because before,
you couldn't.
So So I've got it in the window over here, and the
Yeah.
metal shop doesn't help at all, right?
No,
But
it doesn't.
it's somehow picking up from the second little box
So,
that's in the other window in the house, like 25, 30 feet away.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then on to another 35 feet into another room for the actual home base unit.
Okay.
Time to run an Ethernet
So,
cable.
That's nice and great, but it sucks doing that because then if you got to bury it or something, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I've had to do that a few times at other places.
can you run an Ethernet cable right to this little unit, this unit?
You could. You'd have to
Should
run
be
it
able to.
underground though.
You only said it was. You said it was like 30 feet, right?
Yeah, it should. The guys who installed it said you shouldn't have any issues, but
But every building is different.
Yep.
we've had a little lag here and there, but it seems
That's
like it's
okay.
doing okay. Glad you guys are enjoying the nerd talk. I don't see chat.
help it.
I don't hear laughing at somebody's chat.
help it.
No.
Oh no chat yet.
Okay.
But speaking of nerds, I mean, you are wearing the RGB headset, or at least
Yeah,
the red.
really
headset.
true. You're the only one here with a gamer
That's-
headset.
I'm jumping right into Car X right after this. That's why.
There you go.
No, so what got me the most is it wow, what was it called? Fry's Electronics up in
Oh, yeah.
Russellville. Okay.
Yep.
They had workers there that were roaming around with their Turtle Beach headsets on, acting as if that was going to help them do better at the job.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah,
Like,
no, these
awful.
lights help me drive better in my game. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hey Todd, can you tell us a little bit about the setup that? Hold on.
Yeah.
Big right guess. There we go. And yeah.
There you go. Mostly.
Yeah, mostly. Hold on. I'm missing. Oh, where is it? Oh, nope. There's Todd. There we go. Okay. We good. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the setup that you have, like all the nerdy number stuff.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm running about 7 millimeters in the front camber. Running the stock caster that came with it. That may change. We'll see. And then I'm running a 4 millimeter in the rear. Weight bias is about is a 6436. And I hate their battery mount. Did I say that?
No.
Yeah.
What's wrong
their
with it?
battery mount. Well,
It
I
looks
think
kind of like Musakani's, but a little different.
it's cool, but I think I gotta have that shorty, like the half pack shorty. I don't know.
mean,
I gotta look
Like,
into it
20 mil
more.
tall
But
one.
this battery I screwed it into the damn chassis. Like if it was ever to go on fire, I'd just be like, okay,
Throw the
throw
whole
the
car?
chassis in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's screwed into it.
Oh,
But yeah. So I can't figure out how they wanted to do that, or I think it's probably, like I say, I think it's for that shorty little half pack shorty.
Those are becoming more popular.
Honestly,
but even
that's
with
all that I run.
Same.
Yeah.
Like I have to specifically look for.
I'm gonna make the jump here in the next week. I'm gonna make the jump in the next week or two. Get a few of those. So
the Gens Ace ones seem to be pretty good right now.
Yep. No, I got a couple puff daddies here, so I got to get rid of those.
Right?
Yeah,
get some freshies.
Yep. No, I lost one of my Gens Ace ones, the red lines. Like it's not totally gone, but it definitely puffed. So I kind of threw it outside to do a discharge on it, because when I took it off the charger, it was super super hot.
Oh.
So, yeah. So
that's not good.
Yeah, the internal resistance is like crap now, so that's just a placeholder battery now.
It's all that boost and turbo you run, man.
I mean, Yeah, there's no way around
Yeah.
it.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited this week. I'm gonna do more testing with this thing, with this motor and stuff. I'm gonna play with the pinion and some gearing and some final drive stuff. So I'm excited to actually play with that this week. Kind of a
What
lot more
motor?
tests.
Like, what motor is it actually? So we know
Brand.
it's
I
a
threw in
21.
21.5 a Rue Dog, cheap
Oh, Rue
$54.
Dog. Oh, I've
Rue
never
Dog.
run one of the Rue Dogs. I've seen them on like
Fans.
AliExpress and stuff, and yeah. Well, I've seen the
Yeah,
motors for like
No,
RC Mart and stuff like that, but I've never run one.
yeah. So for the last few years, I've run their receiver that is run or talks to the Sanwa, right?
Mm,
So
yeah,
so I've been buying their receivers because they're
Compatible.
cheaper.
Yeah.
right. No joke. Like,
Same dang case and the whole thing. I mean, it looks like the same receiver except for their name on it, right? So
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I've been playing. It's worked out good for me.
Nice.
I'm seeing more. I see more of their stuff all the time that they're carrying them at our local shop up here. So,
Oh, that's lucky.
um, I'm seeing it a lot of places. So I decided to get one, and like I say, it's I'm I'm excited to actually do more driving with it. So
mhm.
Nice.
Hey Todd, can you show us the bottom of the RDS?
yes,
Okay, because
Wow.
the deceiving
Yes.
part is that that's pretty. You would think that it's pretty flexy, right? Because it's so narrow towards the back.
Yeah, but it's like an E on the top with all the bracing, so
Do you
no,
have a lot of torsional flex, Todd?
no.
Not at all.
just perfect amount.
Okay.
The perfect amount.
Stiff. Just a little
Wait.
bit
So,
flex.
are you a fan of the new flexi decks that have been like kind of all the rage?
No, I don't like the flexi decks, but I like flex. I don't mind flex. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of looked at this little skinny part right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you can see it right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I looked at that when I first got it, and I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna be a lot of flex." But they got a good top deck, and
How thick is the bottom deck? Is it 2.5 or 3 mil?
I'd have to check, but it's pretty thick.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
So
looks
the
like 3 mil to me. I can grab my things if we want to check it out.
I would be curious if a YD2E transmission directly bolted onto that.
That would be funny if it did.
I think the holes. I think it's the same
transmission-
holes.
That would. It looks really really similar. It
Let's
would be
see.
hilarious.
Could you imagine? Not an
Just-
RDS.
Pull a E-trans off and stick it on the back of the RTS.
Like, where'd you get that the upgraded chassis from?
Oh,
it's a Red
Yokomo
Cat.
makes it. Although, I mean, with the motor positions on that stock, it can do high or low motor, so you don't have to get a motor plate to change it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a leg up from the E.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, but if E, then you can also fit a Z transmission on it too,
True. But,
or an RR.
or an RR. Yeah.
All the things that we can do. Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, does Todd just have a random YD2E just sitting?
So,
around?
no, not just an E. It's a box full of E parts.
Yeah.
It's not just an E. It's an unassembled E.
Now I can hear you.
John in chat, do you guys think a more comp style version of the RDX platform will come out, like an MC3? They need this.
We were talking about this last night at PDX because Chris.
Of the RDX?
Yeah. Chris was asking what chassis should I get next because he has Alex's old S with my S plus deck or my SX2 deck, and he was like, I like it.
Transmission will fit in the RDS.
Oh, that's hilarious! Oh my god, that's
Same
so
bolt
good.
pattern. Yep, same bolt pattern.
That's great.
Except the steering rack wouldn't do anything. Like, it's too narrow up there.
You don't want that steering rack though. You want the direct
steering racks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. But the direct steering on the RDS, it's so long. Like the Ackerman adjustment is on the servo horn.
True.
So like
Well,
that's what worries me.
the Rhino Max has some of that as well.
Say that again.
So the Ackerman adjustment is like if you look at the
For
servo
sliding the
horn,
horn back.
yeah, you can extend and shorten the servo horn, and that's how you get the
Right.
Ackerman adjustment on the RDS.
Yeah, on the Shark, the Usakanis, and the Rhino Max, you move the entire servo back and forth.
I
So
can
it's
imagine
a little quicker, but it's kind of harder to get that fine tune if it's like the Shark mine binds, so it's hard to get just a
Yeah,
little bit.
it was their way. Yeah, it's definitely Red Cat's way of doing the same thing that they're achieving with their design, right? So it is that way. Yep.
I mean, but it seems like they were so
part
close.
It you're right. It seems like they're so close on certain things. This could be a comp chassis right now. And like I say, I think with a few upgrades, this thing, like I say, this thing is an animal too, right? So
I think the fact that you're saying it still needs a few upgrades, that's why I would have a hard time trying to recommend it over an RDX. Like RDX is just ready for battle. If RDS
needs tweaking and some work. Yeah.
Yep. No, I think if you here's what I would say. So if you got the support and you got people around you that got them, right? And you got, then I would say, dude, I love this chassis. All right, but as far as they're totally two different kind of chassis, really. Where that one comes out, stock box 2 with no adjustment, no tuning options really whatsoever, other than the shocks and
that's really it.
Some spacing stuff, right? Yep. So, but what's cool about the RDX is it comes, you don't have to change anything. It's ready to go right now, right? So I think a Red Cat, they get that, they aren't so far off from being very close that they're going to be screwed, right? I think that this is so close that if they got somebody experienced there that can help them do a little tuning, this, that, and the other, that this thing could be good for a person too, right?
For sure. I mean, I bet you if they realize that people are willing to spend more money on drift things just because drift, then I bet you the overall quality would go up as well.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I think they were trying to price point a certain, audience with this, some, sort of also, and intrigue them with the deck and the upper deck, and that, it's like I say, the front bumper looks like it's from a toy car from Walmart, but then you got the, a nice deck and top deck, so they did a dang good job with everything pretty much, other than, like I say, a few different, a few little things, but those few little things I don't think are, you got to wait from Japan for 2 weeks for the specialized part. It's something you can probably figure out figure it out,
part of the game. You
gotta buy from overseas. Sometimes.
So I think they're they may be eliminating that by doing this little Red Cat thing, I don't know. We'll see if it's a built-in USA thing and they start producing some parts and figure it out. So they may have a good thing going.
It's a domestic car. We have imports and domestics now.
We do. I was gonna say, how long until we see one on DS log?
Oh, that's hilarious. So it really should only have like a Mustang, Camaro, like.
So we should start sending them Japan as an import, right? And making big bucks off trying to sell there.
Rewind a little bit. So Lance, we were talking about MC3 allegedly.
Oh. Yeah, one of the guys was asking what car to get next, and he was talking about the RDX if it was a decent chassis, because John was there and he was driving his and it was driving good, and it's like, well, yeah, it's a perfectly fine car if you just want to get it and build it and drive, because out of the box, Jake had it and it was great.
Mhm.
And then someone was piping up if they were going to make any like premium versions or models of it, and maybe, but it'll just be most likely parts, like they're trying to do, just triple out parts.
I mean, we're already seeing the aftermarket part support for it, right?
Yep,
We
and
know
that
that.
was the other one. We know people are making decks for them and stuff.
Outclip.
That's the coolest thing is now with people with 3D printers and then doing all this their own side stuff. We don't have to wait from Japan, right? And then
No.
and now there's some cool stuff coming out. I've looked at that Manta chassis that the guys making. There's a few little cool chassis that guys are making for these.
Yeah.
And they're neat. I will be upgrading mine, just because few little things here and there. But really, that chassis, a beginner can drive that till they're advanced at driving that chassis.
Yeah.
It can teach you from beginner all the way to advanced, and you could take that chassis the whole way, right? From beginner all the way to advanced, be running that in comps without ever having to know tuning, right? Really, all you got to know is get the trigger time down, steering. That's what's cool about that chassis.
Yeah.
So, okay, do you think that kind of breaks the journey then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. But hey, we're in a world of convenience. It's the 7-Eleven of chassis, man.
Okay.
And the 7-Eleven of chassis.
That's a new one.
Okay. I mean, okay. So, I guess as far as MC3 like ideals, right? I don't think they would call it an MC3.
No, because the MC has always been a conversion of another chassis. The MC1 was the YD2. The MC2 was the GRK.
They're still making the MC1, correct?
No,
No.
they're toast.
No.
Yeah, they're done. You can get, there's like parts in stock still in places, but if you want a full MC1 chassis, you got to buy it used.
Okay, we will see a comp chassis coming out from them. I suspect very soon.
That's maybe the thought. Yeah.
Well,
I would. Yeah, I would think that. I don't know. Maybe they'll play that upgrade game and they'll just come out with these base models since everybody's coming out with the aftermarket parts for them anyway. Well, and they're going to do that even. They're going to do that even with a high-end car, right? If they came out with that.
Yeah, they could do the Yoko method where they have the base plastic model and then they come out with a one that once they have all their upgrade parts, they come out with the premium version of it with all the aluminum parts and stuff like the SX2 and SX3s.
I'm just getting old. I hope they flip and hurry up.
Yeah, it's going to be at least 4 years.
I mean, they did come from Yokomo. Like,
yeah,
that's the beginning stories.
Yeah, exactly. So they could go that line and just have premium versions of the RDX in a year or two.
I mean, it would be so easy.
If they don't, people are going to make them that way themselves. If they don't, so
well, yeah,
that's how we're.
I mean, it's just all the premium aluminum stuff, right? Now, about aluminum stuff, I don't know how I feel about like them re-releasing like the spur gear holder, right? So the spur gear holder for the MC1 and the RDX, where it's just like the only design change is like they beveled the outside edge or the edges, so it
or they make
looks
like
better.
a star. They a whole different or whatever it is.
It's like okay. Let's not come up with anything new. We'll just keep on using it.
We'll just sell the same thing.
I mean, at the same point, the MD1 comes with the same body mount package that comes with the DP. The Yokomo.
Oh my god. Okay.
I have yet to open that bag.
There's no reason to.
No, not at all.
God.
there's some things to say about that. I like new designs coming out, but I think they should be drastic. Somewhat. It should show
Yeah.
some growth.
Yeah.
But I love interchangeable parts. Like that's what I love about all of my Yokomos throughout the years. I can just go to my Yokomo box, right, and grab. I mean, that thing's stuffed full of Yokomo parts. So it's like if I need a part, it most likely will fit most of the chassis.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, heck, the transmission's gonna fit on the RDS.
Boom. Yeah. But I don't see why you do it. This one's running pretty dang good.
Right? And I think that's overlooked so much is that like the base chassis, like with a few modifications on anything, is
They
really all that you need.
they got this. They got the killer little ESC mount comes stock with it. I mean, and I designed it into it. It's like it's badass. There's some cool.
That was smart doing that included. That was really
Dude,
good.
like I say, there's some pieces and parts of this that's like it's right with the times, right? And then there's a few parts that's like, okay, I see where they had to maybe save some money, or they didn't. They needed. They're playing that upgrade thing too, right? We got to leave a few parts that we can upgrade and get some more. I don't know, some more money out of them. But yeah,
As far as
you're
springs,
you won't be unhappy if you get an RDS. I think you could make this thing work and go right with everything else. I'm gonna.
now, do you still get a weird like taste in your mouth whenever you say red cat?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does kind of feel weird, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, because it blindsided everybody, right? It's like we have this like Bashamal brand name now making
Well,
like
no, they're known for the bashers, the lowriders,
Mhm.
and then the failed scout line for the crawlers.
Well, I can tell you right now, this chassis right here is built. It is. I mean, if it, you're not gonna have parts breaking on this, it's gonna be turnbuckles bending or stuff like that. It's gonna be, yeah, it's built pretty damn good.
That's good.
And as far as scale science is
Even the
done,
ball ends that how some ball ends are kind of cheesy. You take them off and on and off and on about 2 or 3 times and they're wasted. I
Mhm.
think that these ones are right there with everything else. As far as quality goes, they're not lacking there.
Nice.
That's good.
And the plastic seems like it's a good plastic too. So
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Not like
yep, no,
real like
it's
old tracks.
like I said, it's the Traxxas of grip chassis. It thing's built, so it's like kind of overabundant in a few places, but it's not affecting anything. It's actually working really well. So
There you
That's
go.
good.
yeah,
If it's the Traxxas of drift, watch RPM start making parts for it.
That would actually be really cool. RPM arms and bulkheads and
dude,
stuff. RPM shock
I got
towers. Hell yeah.
I got Yokomos with RPM ball ends on them right now.
Hell yeah. I'm game. I'm good for that because that just gives you another avenue for fucking parts, man.
Right, right.
And you can get RPM stuff at like any freaking hobby shop that carries Traxxas stuff.
Okay. Question in chat from Jacob. Overall, Todd, this is directed at you. Do you think that the RDS is worth the price point that it's currently at?
Are we talking the RTR? It's a builder kit that Todd has.
We're going to talk about the builder kit because that's what we have.
So that's 240, right?
For this kit, I was gonna say, what did I pay for it?
Like it's Red Cat's website says 240.
Right, I have no buyer's remorse. Let's put it that way. And I think you got more than. I mean,
it's clearly more than a YD2Z like or RD like in terms of plastic amount. Like
if this was a Yokomo with Yokomo name on it, it would be, more than that. So, and it's definitely comparable in plastic. The ball ends, the technology is there. front knuckles. Why didn't they flip and do those? That's the one thing they didn't do very good. And then the shocks were like, they're mediocre. He could work them, but
Yeah.
you ain't gonna, you're not gonna be you're not gonna be unhappy spending that much money on this. I can tell you that.
That's good.
Sorry.
If I didn't have,
yeah.
did I lag out again?
No, but you're very close.
But you're getting there, yeah. You're all blocky. It might clear up. It also might not.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, don't
Did I
worry.
hang up
It's
again?
all right.
No, you're good. It might clear up by itself. That's fine.
Yeah, it might.
So we're saying a pass for Red Cat.
All right. That's good.
I'd buy it before a D5 or a D4, any of that stuff.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's good. Because we got a lot of people that run those D5s.
Yeah, no, I think a guy could buy one of these and be drifting with all of us,
Okay.
Nice.
Question about the D5 though, if anyone knows, including chat here. So we know that Rhino released the pulley kit, right? But it also says that it's compatible for the D5. Now,
what's the pulley kit for the reverse? Is that for the reverse motor thing?
So it has to be like for some sort of conversion because the D5s are naturally a gear-driven car. Yeah.
Like even the original ones were bevel gear.
Yeah.
Kind of like the RMX.
I know that the clones that I've seen of the of the D5, like it has a D5 front end, but it looks like a D4 on the rear. Like that's belt-driven, but it's also a clone. So like, there's either like a conversion part or there's some weird.
Other weird belt version.
Yeah, because when I saw it was like D5 compatible, I'm like,
yeah.
The old, back when we had sprints and all that, there was a pulley system that Chuck had on his, and I forget the name of it, but there was a pulley system out he was running, and you had to reverse the motor to run that pulley.
Which actually, that brings me into my next topic perfectly.
That actually works well because I ran into that with Jake last night.
Segue, huh? I worked on that.
That's a great segue.
All day long.
Yeah.
But that belt pulley system was called the Venom, or the brand name was Venom. You bought it from
that was it.
O Speed, something like that. That's where you would purchase all of your oxygen conversion kit stuff. So, also the first place where I could buy narrow speedline tires, like when we were running narrow tires back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. John in chat. I'm not seeing a lot of people stoked on the MD1 in our region. What's up with them? Are people running them in your area? Yes and no.
I know of 3.
Mine has been slightly retired.
I almost bought one, but none of the parts were the same as all the other Yokomos, it seems. So it's like, well, that was the only reason. And then I didn't like the weird floating rear end thing. Well, not that it's floating, but I didn't like how it hung off it seemed like it hung off the back of the chassis so I just didn't get that one. But I know guys are having good luck with them and they're driving like animals. So
they drive great. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I didn't choose to get one.
I mean, so Jacob Parker said it the best in the idea that it's really just a culmination of all the YD2s, right?
Yeah.
Like it is their final judgment of what the drift chassis should be. And he's in chat, FYI.
Yeah.
So Jacob. Yeah, there's no doubt that they're a great chassis to drive, right? I just feel for me I'm uninterested because there's not much that I can do to the chassis, right?
There's no conversions, no third-party parts, nothing like that yet.
Yeah, there's no
no big announcements for the next part, none of that. No hype with it, really, right? It's kind of its own little alone thing, it seems, right?
I mean, the SD 1.0 came out with the whole load center being that the Travis LCG is coming, or LC whatever, the Travis
LC2.
2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Travis.
right.
Yeah.
Like they put a high battery mount on top of their like YD2-esque aluminum frame thing,
That's funny.
just to make it different because it wasn't selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, were you about to say something, Todd?
No, I hadn't realized that, but I did see that. Oh, what's it? Is that what it's called? The SD?
Yeah, super drift. And Jake also says that it has the high front upper arms, kind of like RER does.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Well,
I
that's a
did see
little
that.
different. Yeah, that's a little different.
So the knuckles taller? Is that?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So just think of how like high the RER knuckles are.
Yeah.
Just like that. Okay, so going on to the other into the I guess segue because we totally broke that off. But motor transition or motor rotation,
Direction.
right? So I think it was Alex B that was asking about motor rotation the other day, because he just got a Shark and he was curious about the differences between 3 and 4 gear transmissions, right? So you can't just add a gear and then keep the motor plate on the same side, right?
Yeah, well, okay. So this actually works good because I did.
Okay, wait, what?
I did.
So okay, but you reversed your motor then, right?
Yeah. I reversed the direction of the motor's running, but I didn't rotate the motor.
Right. So you didn't flip the
You mean
motor
to the other side of the mount? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. No, it's the way it would have been in the manual, but 3 gear, not 4 gear.
Well, okay, so all in all,
Yeah.
it's
So
going
yeah,
backwards, right?
it's going backwards. Yes.
Okay.
It's going clockwise, not counterclockwise.
So then your motor, right? Does it have the ability to go backwards or go to negative timing?
No, but the timing still works fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Because every single time that I've tried it, it always
It doesn't
acts
work.
as if it
The
always
timing's
acts
retarded.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it works fine. It works exactly the same as it did when it was in an S-Trans. It's weird. I don't know, but it works.
Sure? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
If you turn it down to 0 timing, does it get back?
We can try it tomorrow.
Because every single time that I've tried it, it always acts retarded. Not that retarded, like retard as in slower.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. No, it still behaves exactly as it did when I had the S-Trans, when I had on the SX2. Yeah, but I mean, okay, I think it also could depend on the motors because this one's an Agile.
I mean, you'll still get boost and turbo, right? It's just like
it's just like you don't get as much.
Right.
It feels,
right. Yeah. So you'd be like negative 30 degrees on the can instead of like the normal 30.
No, this it's got enough timing and boost in it. It's lifting the front end up.
Oh, Todd's running. Todd's getting something.
Running. He is getting a drink.
Hey.
Yeah, no, because it was doing really, really good last night at PDX. Like it was stupid good.
Or is that just because it had the offset of having more torque?
No, it's a 10.5.
Well, I know, but like if the
grip. Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe.
Okay, fine.
We can play with it more tomorrow though. But it is a valid thing because normally you rotate the can so it's going counterclockwise still.
Why are we talking about this?
Someone was asking about it.
Yeah, the hot topic now is 3 or 4 gear transmissions, right?
Yep.
But the real way to do it is you move the motor plate, right? Like you have to flip the motor plate in order for the motor to continue to spin counterclockwise.
Yeah. So actually, I can illustrate this perfectly because I have both versions right here.
Now I do have some feelings about that I haven't proved yet. Because if we're reversing the motor, then we're kind of like undoing the doing of like an anti-torque transmission.
Yeah, kind of. But you can see both the motors are facing each other instead of going the same direction.
No, they're
They
not.
they face each other. They should both be facing the same left or right. Like this one is correct because this is a Z-Trans. So this one it's facing the camera, right?
Yeah.
So if I did the shark correctly, it should also face the camera. It doesn't. See? It's going backwards.
Right. So because three-gear transmission on each.
Flip
Right?
the transmission.
3-gear on each. This one, because it should have been a 4-gear, is if I did 4 gears, then it's on the right side. It's on the correct side, but it's not. It's the opposite side.
Right. So overall, your motor is running clockwise right now.
Yes. Yeah. Not counterclockwise.
Okay. I'm still really hesitant. Like if it works, then cool, but that means that there's some weird circuitry in the agile motor. Not weird, yeah. Cool circuitry.
Well, cool circuitry because yeah, you're right. Normally you can't go negative timing. Well, and I remember someone doing it before and having issues with it.
There's no forward and backwards. If it's the electric motor, right? It's
which
if it's going the one way.
It's the phasing. Yeah. Oops. Crap. That's okay.
So Lance, just from that picture there, are you saying that if there was a big earthquake, all of your cars would just like fall on you?
Just 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4. And a PS4.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Okay. So I guess let me explain, because everything basically just blew up in my face.
Well, because you come from the racing, because you've done the buggy races, you've been around enough people and electric motor stuff that you probably had more exposure to that weird timing stuff than other people.
Well, I mean, recently too, right? Because remember my Frankenstein, like weird, almost Galmish, like high motor Galmish thing before Galm ever did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I had to reverse the motor on that.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to try something different, right?
Yeah.
So that was when I figured out that like the can timing mattered, right? So if you didn't go back to 0 or into the negatives, your boost and your turbo would not be the same as it was before. Now, if you look at today's motors, all the motor cans are like from 0 to 50, right?
Yeah, or 40, something like that.
Yeah, but not the other way.
Yeah, 0 to 50. Yeah, not the other way. It only goes one direction. Yep.
So apparently, we're gonna have to do a little bit of trial and error on this and see what actually happens.
Yeah, I mean that's easy enough to do with the sharks now.
Oh, John in chat. This is great. Why are they making conversion chassis for Shark, which is a conversion chassis? It seems like a Shark is a money pit to get right.
Oh, just wait till you get a Shark a Megalodon conversion for your Shark conversion. That's a conversion of an SX2.
But wait, it's not just that. We're talking about money pits, and it's a Razor chassis, right? So
yeah,
what?
So
it's like
ordered,
100.
Yeah,
it's like 180.
It's $180 for that. Yeah. Oh God. Yes.
Oh, you got the Razor chassis deck.
I ordered it. Yeah, I ordered it before they announced them because I don't.
Is that the honeybee? Is that the honeybee cutout one?
No, that's for the RDX. That's the other one. That's the outclip conversion for the RDX.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is it? No. Maybe not.
I can't keep up on outclip.
I don't remember. But I do know the honeycomb one that you're talking about. I just don't remember whose it was. But yeah, so if you're not looking to do any chassis length like changes, like shorter or longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we don't need shorter. We have that.
Right. Just buy the DDS and the transmission for the Shark.
Yep.
And that's all you need. And then you can buy
whatever deck you
Megalodon.
Want.
Honestly,
or the Scale Reflex Hydra, whatever.
Megalodon is so much cooler though.
It is.
Just by name alone.
I mean, yeah.
Going for the Hydra.
No, Hydra were a bunch of Nazis. We don't talk about that.
I mean, but I think all of Super G's team are running the Hydra chassis.
Probably, yeah. Because they were prototyping and testing it.
So rumor mill. Apparently, after all of the shark stuff happens, uh, Rhino Max 3 might be in the works.
I doubt it.
Are you sure?
I will eat those words if it happens, and then I'll have to buy one.
Ooh, okay. So everyone remember that.
Don't want to
March
do that.
11th, 2023.
No. Oh my god.
You said it on the internet, Lance.
I know.
It's here forever.
Like okay, so that's funny because at PDX last night, so Elliot and Nick were there, and I had them both drive my Rhino Max, and they couldn't figure out what chassis it was, and then I told them, and they didn't believe me.
I know, right? Because
and they're like, "You comped with this?
Yeah.
What?"
Ever since you figured out the front end, right? Like it's been pretty solid with chassis.
Front end. Yeah, it just took a long time to figure out because it doesn't work like anything else, and the shocks matter so much more.
Todd, do you have an absorbently overly sized or overly spec'd chassis that's like ridiculously heavy? Not the taco truck?
The train, the choo-choo train.
Isn't that the same as the taco truck though?
Probably that. Yeah, it's probably that RRX MST, that one I got from Jason years and years ago.
Oh yeah. The VIP
Shriner's old VIP chassis.
John's uncle.
Jeez.
Yeah. Hey Todd, how much rear camber do you typically use?
Like I say, it depends on the surface, but typically, so it makes a tire track like that on my tire.
So like 6.
Yeah, pretty high.
Like yeah, 6. I run a lot of. I run the Yokomo C, so it's got that edge, and I like that edge for grip.
So
you run them flat. You run them flat. You're never going to keep up with me.
That's true.
So the follow-up question is, how often do you change your tires?
Oh, so yeah, so I like freshies for like our events, right, and comps. I like them fresh as you can get. And in fact, I won't even go out and do a test lap if it's a comp. I'll run them like fresh right then. Like 1, 2, 3, go. They're fresh. I don't even want to take a test lap on them things. Okay. That's where the C's really ran good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, especially on a real high polished concrete. You know, it's back in the day when we were at Kong. You know, if it was a fresh Yokomo C, it was like that was when it was the best. And then I'd see guys come in and they'd take it over to the little sandpaper pad taped to the table, and I'd be like, brand new tires, what are you doing? But everybody's got their own thing. In fact, one guy was had a tire lathe and was changing the profile of the tire a little bit, you know.
Jeez.
I mean, he didn't want to just run the MST
FRFs.
No.
Well,
not those.
So he liked the MST back then, and they made him run the Yokomos, right? So he would take them home, or he knew that they'd have to run the Yokomos, but he would he'd lay them out and polish them up good, and they'd be the profile he liked. I mean, which was the MST profile back then.
But how would that pass tech? It wouldn't pass tech.
Not if you're like actually looking, but if you're just glancing and say, "Oh yeah, it says C on there," I'm good.
No, right. You remember Robert from Kennewick, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That was who it was. That's who it was that was doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he's doing it. I don't know if he's doing it for the comp or not or what, but like you say, I don't know if he'd pass tech with that, right?
Right.
But I think he preferred that whenever we were drifting. That's what he was running.
Mm-hmm. John in chat, where is Kong now?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
He's still over in Seattle hiding around, and
We'll
making
just keep it at that.
Yeah.
He'll just keep it at that. You don't want me to keep talking, huh? No.
Well, I mean, I see him
I'm
like he
just
still
kidding.
posts, right? Like, but the funny thing
Yeah,
is that like it's the posts of like old competitions, like the
Oh,
memories that show
memories,
up.
like Facebook memories. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's all good.
Okay. And one last topic that I wanted to kind of talk about here is troubleshooting. The way you go about troubleshooting. Like if something's wrong with your car, or we can even just hone on like the electronics part of things. So, well, let's see. What was the question that I wrote here? What was the last problem that you were trying to troubleshoot but couldn't easily come up with a fix? Either of you.
Oh, me? Yeah. So I'll just speak right off the bat. So it's gonna be front end geometry. It was years ago, right? That was the thing I had troubles with the most, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's just because I didn't understand it, and I would understand what one was. I knew what each one was. I knew what camber was. That was this,
Mm-hmm.
and caster is this, right? And I knew what everything was, but I didn't know how it worked together, and I didn't know how if you made an adjustment to one, it affected the others, right? I didn't know any of that, and so I'd secretly hear something over here on this table. When I'd be at an event or something like that, I'd hear something over here, and oh, we're running 7 camber, So then I'd go over to and do that, and um, but that's kind of what I can recall was my problem I had issues with, right? And I was hung up, and I think that I was even hung up after people told me what they thought was wrong with my stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what worked for them didn't work for me, even though they said, "Oh yeah, your adjustment looks good." It still wouldn't work for me for some reason. And again, that's I don't know. That's I don't. Did I cover it?
Well, so let's kind of focus in on that. I guess what were the issues that you were having with in terms of why you needed to fix the front end geometry? Like, was it the fact that you didn't have any front end grip? Was the car
Spin
not
out,
transitioning?
spin outs,
Spin
right?
outs.
Spin outs. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and I didn't understand Ackerman at the time. I didn't understand how it, like I said, all those things affected each other. And, and, um, and then it could come down to something as far as easy as, oh, it wasn't my front end geometry. It was that the dang tire was rubbing on my body.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, there's so many variables to that. So, I mean, it's something in the front end, right? The beginner guy saying it's something in the front end, and you're like, well, it's got to be, well, the geometry looks good, and you're all, so you really got to check everything. So the way I get around it now is like I say, you got to go through everything and not just what you're thinking you're seeing. Think about everything, the whole picture, the body rub thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, yeah, and it took, some of those problems that I went through, it took 3 or 4 people to ask before the one guy actually was like, "Oh, it's the stupid body, dude. It wasn't the geometry the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the body rub on the tire was hitting the body and breaking the tire and making you spin out,
Right.
you know."
It's the thing that's
So
right in front of you.
it's a thing,
Yep.
and but it was a frustrating thing for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd
So
sit there without the body. I'd sit there without the body on it on the table, going,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
so
so it's the thing that's right in front of you, right? That's kind of what I wanted to get right at, right? Um, So Lance, you know about this, right? How the other day I was trying to like move my monitor and tighten it so it
Mhm.
would fit into place. Well, I yanked it a little bit too hard, and when I was looking at it, it looked exactly like the connector was at like a 45. So if this was the like the flat plane of how it's supposed to sit, right? The connector was like that, right? And
Mhm.
like looking at it, it looked like the entire thing was like bent out of the socket, like the actual plug got warped or totally ripped out. So me being me, I went ahead and like disassembled my entire monitor all the way down to the PCB, to the electronics, and I found out that one, the entire like carriage for the back of your monitor is just taped on to the back of the panel. So
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. The back casing holds it in
Yep.
for moving.
And then I also realized that the DisplayPort adapter that's on the PCB is also being screwed in and anchored on the aluminum or on the steel casing that's already there too, which I didn't realize that. So I took apart my entire monitor just to find out that the plug was good. And then I look at the cable, which the cable is trash. Like the entire like end of the cable had disassembled itself and broke off. So lucky at that, but it's the thing that was right in front of me, right?
You
I
jumped
could
to
have
the worst conclusion instantly and didn't think about,
exactly.
oh wait, I may have messed up my cable. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, oh dang. Well shoot. I could have saved myself a half hour of
But now you know how to take apart a monitor and how it looks inside.
well, specifically the Asus monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you learned something.
A lot of times I want to try and figure it out myself, right? So
Mhm.
I will get to that roadblock that you're talking about, right? And I can't figure out what that is that's right in front of me that it is, right? And so then I got to put another set of eyes on it. So I'll
Yeah.
ask a buddy. Don't be afraid to just ask your buddy, because all it might take is just another set of eyes, and they go, "Well, dude, look, your ball end was crooked," or
Yeah.
whatever it was,
Dude,
you know.
and how true is that? Like on any of the YD2s, if your ball end is off kilter just by a
On the
bit,
top.
it
Yeah.
completely ruins the freedom of that front end.
Yep.
Like it has
Yep.
to be flat.
That is almost every time somebody comes to me and says they're having steering issues and that, I go and that's almost one of the very first things I'll look at is where that ball end is tipped back or forward,
Forward. Yeah.
right? Either one, and then a lot of times it's that made the whole difference, right?
Right. Ooh, get this. So I forget which RC Drift page it's on, but it was like RC World or RC Drift World, whatever, right? But it was a guy that was saying that the front end geometry or the front end of his YD2 is like really stiff and it keeps on binding up. And then the Smarty Pants in the comments there says that his front lower arms are upside down, which is a common mistake, right? Like you would
Yeah.
expect that. But the lowers were right. They were the correct position. It's like did I want to start that online battle and be like,
No.
dude, you're
Stay
wrong?
out of that. Stay out. I get stuck in that in the cross track
Time to scroll.
Reddit.
Time to scroll.
Right.
Yeah. So you gotta force yourself to stay out of that.
Right. Well, that does it for my topics, you guys.
I've tried to fix so many people's world with that stuff and then got shot down by whoever Yahoo that thinks they know whatever, and they didn't listen to what I had, it anyway. So I just, like you say, should I even answer that stuff? That goes through my head a lot.
Yep.
Right. So that does it for all my topics. Do you guys have anything to add to this?
Not me, no, I don't. I'm the only thing I've been
Just
doing
tell
is
the guys in
shark.
chat, hey, and glad they're coming out and listening, and
Yeah.
shoot, we're listening to you when you come on, too. And I know Jacob came on and he's probably listening right now. So, yeah, the people who are doing it do this, and that's what we do. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun being on here and chatting and spreading our knowledge. And if you have any questions, you could reach out at me at Apple RC Core Drift Lounge on Facebook, and or just personally, Todd Saunders, either way, and I'll help you out however I can.
Mhm.
I can tell you lies, whatever you want, man. We'll figure it out. Let's have some let's have some fun.
Um,
So,
Thank,
real
thanks for
quick,
having me, guys.
real
yeah.
quick. So, Todd, are you doing drift nights again now, or are you still closed down? Because I've been seeing you kind of
Yes.
being a bit more active again on Facebook.
Yep. No, we're so I'm just kind of holding it when the guys that are
Yeah.
normally here want to hold I'm always here and I'm drifting all the time. But the guys that are part of my club here, the local guys, they just kind of got it. All they got to do is just reach out to me and say, "Hey,
Nice.
I've got some free time," and I'll say, "Well, I got free time then too. Let's do it." So,
Nice. That's good.
and like I say, I got the track back up and running. You can see,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Looks good.
weather's nice, so I can keep the Miata outside without
Right.
too much weather. If it gets nasty, the track's coming down, the Miata's coming in.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So, just to kind of tidy up things, there's a few questions in chat. John Cam, where is a good place to drift in Seattle? So, Seattle area, that's gonna be guys' territory for Let's Drift RC.
Yeah.
Jacob Parker in chat, he's would be a really really great contact for you guys, in terms of just finding out what's happening. Or just hop on Facebook and look up Let's Drift RC, and then you'll be informed of all of the like 3 different spots that they are at, like
Pacific Northwest Drift Group, Slideways Northwest.
Sideways. Yeah. That's the other one.
Let's
Yeah.
Drift RCs, pretty much the main guys who are doing it. There's but a couple of others too, but that will get you going.
Mm-hmm. And then what do you guys think about the big Valino tires? Have you guys tried them? No, I'm too cheap.
I have not tried those. No.
Like
I got them on I got the real ones on my Miata.
Yeah, I can't afford those tires.
No.
Mainly because I don't want to afford those tires.
No.
I want to try them. I'm gonna get a set, but you're right. They're spendy. I love my Yokomo C's. I haven't tried the new Yokomos. I haven't tried those yet, so that's gonna be I don't know. I haven't tried
the derps are good. If you like LF5s, or if you prefer LF5s or like LF5s, they're like LF5s. No one ever ripped Parity just harder than. Okay.
Now they're just bickering.
Yeah. Now it's just bickering. Okay. So before we
hear what they say.
Before we part our ways here, just an event recap here. Tomorrow, going down at Northwest Hobbies, there's going to be a small little fun drift comp, like really really minimal stuff. We're going backwards on the track.
Yeah.
And then as far as upcoming events,
Portland?
No. Northwest,
Yeah.
Albany.
An hour and a half south.
Of Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where the new track is.
No,
that's
the new
our
one's
track.
in Portland.
The new one's in Portland. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The new one is in Portland, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one John goes to that one, or?
Yeah, John and Jake go to that one. They aren't really set up for comps or anything like that yet. They don't have a big enough space really to host a comp, but they may be able to in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Well, and their main concern was just everyone that's there is mainly new.
Yep.
So just trying to get everyone up to the same-ish skill level.
Hey, it looks like they're doing great, man. I've been following that guy, the owner guy there too, and he's doing his little track talk thing, and sounds like the drift has really hit up good down there, and that's awesome. I may jump down there here in a week or two and come down there and check that track out.
Yeah, Portland's always had enough guys. It's just they didn't have a location that was close enough for a lot of the people, because driving an hour and a half south for a lot of people is a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the deli was picking up before it died, and then they didn't have anything, so people just stopped doing it, and now there's something there again, and so they've all started coming back out.
Yep.
Okay.
RCFC Regional Round 1 is March 17th. Pay attention. Go hop on their chats or again, Let's
What do
Drift
you
RC. RCFC Fight Club Regional Round 1 is March 17th. And let's see what we got. We've got next weekend in PDX or Portland. We've got the Portland Roadster Show, which is a 3-day event covering, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Matt is going to be having his little drift track there. And then the week after that is going to be Import Expo at the Convention Center, Expo Center, the one where we're always at.
Mhm.
So yeah, back-to-back car shows, back-to-back drifting.
the one in Portland that I've come down for?
Yeah,
not hot import expo.
Yeah, Import Expo.
But same place?
Same area, yeah.
On that little island thing or whatever?
I don't know what they'll have. It's been different. Like whoever's coordinating it is probably something different.
That's end of March, you said?
March 25th.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, plenty of real car shows.
Yeah.
Plenty of drifting at car shows.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got a full month, and then let's see, April, Northwest is gonna have another fun comp, and then May is our first series regional comp. So yeah.
Yep.
Be ready for comp season. Get your stuff tuned.
Yeah.
And fun. I'm gonna have an announcement soon. I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys know. But I got to drift till I drop, right? So
at some point, you haven't done that for a couple of years.
Right.
Yep. And everybody's been crying, so it's time to put the binky in the baby's mouth.
Nice.
All right, you guys. Well, it's been fun. Todd, thanks for coming. Lance, thanks for being the last minute step in for John.
No problem.
Thanks for the care package, Lance.
No problem. Have fun with that.
I will see Lance maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And Todd, I'll probably see you at in April.
Model Hobby Expo. Yeah.
Model Hobby Expo is April 14th, 15th, and 16th, somewhere around there.
I think so. Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Model Hobby Expo is probably like the biggest of our events in terms of like joint Northwest everybody.
Yep.
So be there. It's fun.
Oh yeah.
All right. You guys, take it easy. And
don't come. We got plenty of people.
Never enough. All right. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Good night, guys.